We are going to talk about why anger is your friend and how you can use it to create powerful changes in your life. Let's start by redefining what anger is. So in Chinese medicine, there's 5 elements, and anger is associated with the wood element. Think of a tree. When it sprouts, it will push through anything, soil, rock, any obstacle that gets in its way so that it can grow towards the sun. This is the energy of wood, and the same energy is of anger. It's growth, forward movement, and expansion. Now think of a tree when its growth gets stunted, right? This manifests in our lives as frustration, as resentment, anger. It's where something in our life is blocked. We might be in a dead-end job or a relationship that's not serving us anymore. When we feel this anger and frustration, this is our wood element trying to tell us something. It's trying to tell us something needs to change. So now that we understand the nature of anger and how it relates to the wood element, we see that our frustration and our anger in life is because something or someone is blocking our growth. It's blocking our fulfillment. We feel that we cannot achieve our dreams. We feel that we cannot achieve the freedom that we long for. But the good news is this anger is a messenger. It tells us what we need to change. And once we take the proper steps to change, this anger will transform into hope. And where there's hope, there's life. Consider for a moment Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars movie A New Hope. He's trapped on Tatooine. He feels frustrated with his life. He can tell he is meant for something greater. He knows that there's more to his life. But there's the oppressive rule of the Empire, his controlling uncle, and he feels all this frustration. That's the wood element trying to grow, trying to expand, and try to get fulfillment in life. When Luke's aunt and uncle were tragically killed, of course he became angry. Anybody would, at the injustice. But Luke didn't become a victim. He didn't seek revenge. He didn't fill himself with resentment or fall into despair. No, his anger transformed him. He joined Obi-Wan and the rebellion and eventually became a Jedi Knight fighting for the galaxy. He became a new hope. His anger became hope. So you see, this example with Luke is exactly what happens when we let our anger point to us what's wrong in our lives, and then we start to take actionable steps to the fulfillment of our dreams. We answer the call of the Tao when it calls us. So now that we understand the nature of anger and what's going on and how it can transform, we're going to follow a 3-step process so that we can transform this anger into hope and eventually accomplish our most ambitious goals and find more fulfillment in our lives and remove all the obstacles in the way. What we're going to do is we're going to get a notebook and we're going to write down what we're angry about and figure out what desire is not being fulfilled. And that's all we want to do in this first step, is figure out what desire is not being fulfilled. So if you're in a dead-end job, it could be you want a career that's aligned with your goals. If somebody's mistreating you, write down how exactly you want to be treated. You might want to be accepted and respected, or you might want to be acknowledged for your hard work. But you need to be clear what it is you actually desire and what the frustration is coming from. Now, another purpose of this journaling is to vent our frustration, because in our society we're taught to repress these things and to suppress our emotions and not show when we're frustrated. But this frustration is a disharmony between the calling of our soul and what the world is telling us to be. So we need to know what we're supposed to become. This is the call of the Tao. And so we want to vent our frustration so that we can think clearly about these things. So now step 2. We know what our desire is. We know what our blockage is, right? Now, we're going to take this and give it direction. We're going to transform it into a goal. So the desire might be, I want a career in line with my goals, in line with my personality. Now the goal is, I'm going to find that career, and I'm going to find something that is in line with what I want to do. And that's all you're going to do. Just transform it into a goal. All right, so now step 3. We have the knowledge of what is being blocked. We've transformed them into goals. Now what we're going to do is we're going to break them down into smaller steps. We're going to take our goal and break it down into steps. And we're going to find the step that we can do. Because what's going to happen is we are finding the sweet spot that is within our capability and is not too easy, but not too hard. We're going to find the sweet spot and we're going to make marginal improvements every day. Because what happens is these impossible goals, once we make a little bit of progress every day and keep doing it day by day, not only will you feel more hopeful about your life, but eventually the impossible will become possible just because you worked on it a little bit every day. So once you do this, what you'll find is you will get lost in the task, and you will feel like you've overcome some huge obstacle. It should feel good. So I'm sure most of you have heard of the flow state, right? Well, this is actually an exercise to get into the flow state. And I would say if the flow state is associated with any element in Chinese medicine, it would be the wood element. You see, usually people equate it with water because water flows, right? But if you think about the wood element in Chinese medicine, the wood element is all about the free flowing of energy, the growth of energy. And that's exactly what happens in a flow state. We grow, we expand, we learn new skills, we make the impossible possible. So this is what we're going to do. This is the transform anger into hope. And I really hope you like it. And before this video is over, I want to leave you with a quote that I think is very relevant to this. Start by doing what's necessary, and then do what's possible. Suddenly, you are doing the impossible. And this is by St. Francis of Assisi. And that's exactly what happens. The necessary is we pay attention to our anger, and then we form it into a goal. And then the possible is we do the steps we can do. And then before you know it, you've achieved your wildest dreams. So if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Or if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you.